Joined by Astana cyclist Chris Horner. Chris, you're back in Bend, at least for a little while, heading over to Chicago. I want to first off talk about what was it like, the disappointment of not being named to the Tour de France team. How has that sat with you, and where are you now with it?
Personally, I was just devastated when I heard the news. I still had to keep training for 7-8 days just in case if we had a rider that got sick or injured right before. So everyday training was a nightmare, going out training, and all I really wanted to do is just get off the bike and go do something else.
You were very mature about it. You handled it professionally. What was your sense about the politics behind it?
It was definitely politics is the only way I could see it. The Spaniard, Alberto, he wanted a Spanish rider with him, so he made sure he had someone that was there to room with, someone that's going to look after him during the stage race as each day went on. Well, also, having 3 Americans, certainly there's a battle going on between Lance and Alberto for supremacy there at the Tour, so I think he wanted to limit how strong Lance's side would be in case Lance was going for the leader's jersey. In
your eyes, the team was weaker without you on the team. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. I think Lance lost the leader's jersey by, he did lose the leader's jersey by half a second. With me there, I think he would have been in the leader's jersey.
Is that just the way cycling goes down sometimes? Politics happens and you have a weaker team out there?
I think that's the way life goes down. Politics is just everywhere, whether if it's sports or in the office.
Have you been watching the Tour?
Every day, unfortunately.
What has your stance been on it? What have you been seeing from being obviously on the inside but watching it at home?
I think personally you're going to see Astana win regardless whether if they took me or didn't take me. That I knew. They have a very strong team and they're riding fantastic. There's a lot of inter-team fighting going on between everybody and Contador's tactics. Even with the director and Contador, there's a lot of inter-team fighting going on. But I think the end result is Alberto's riding incredibly strong. I think he'll take the leader's jersey and take it home.
Another good friend of yours who actually won the Cascade Cycling Classic last year, Levi, he had a tough break, literally crashed, was right there in the top 5. Have you talked to him? How's he doing?
Yeah, I talked to Levi. He's bummed. He, basically, same scenario I'm in right now. He's sitting home watching the race, and the only difference is he's got a broken hand. But regardless, he was there. He sees the action. He got a little bit of taste of one mountain stage, and then just on the cusp of the Tour de France starting to take shape, he's out with a broken hand and sitting at home. So he's bummed, but he's got good morale. He'll come back around. He's already on the bike training.
He was going real well. It looks like if going from the first couple weeks, looks like Lance isn't going to make it. He's had a great race. He's played second to Contador after Contador took off on a couple of those mountain stages. How do you see his fitness and how do you see his development over having spent a couple years off the bike?
I think today he looked fantastic. Played a great supporting role for Alberto today, but he looked fantastic at the finish, still finishing strong. Every day he seems to be getting a little bit better. He's still not too far behind, but it would take a big leap in his form or maybe a bad crash for Alberto or something for them to switch roles. Alberto is definitely the leader on the team. He might not be riding like one of the leaders on the team with some of the tactics he's doing, but he's certainly physically the results are there. He's going to win the Tour barring some major accident or some really bad luck.
It seems like there are a lot of team tactics. It seems like Alberto's strong enough that he sometimes breaks away to the detriment of the team.
Oh, today was absolutely almost amateurish.
Okay.
What he did to the team is he actually damaged the team. He stayed in the leader's jersey, but what he did is he hurt the team. We should have finished the stage. After today's stage race, we should have had first, second, and third on GC. Certainly first and second's not even arguable, but I think third, too, with Lance. And what he did today was he actually hurt the team. He didn't help the team. He allowed 2 other riders from behind to jump into second and third on GC. Not only did he allow that to happen, but he gave the stage win away also in the process of doing that too. But now, like I said earlier, if Alberto was to crash out like Levi did and break his hands, we no longer have a rider that's in second place. Right. And so if the stage had finished the way it should have finished with Contador there on his wheel still, then we'd have a rider in second place.
Right. Now, there's a code, obviously, in cycling. And so would you have a problem, or would anybody have a problem saying this to him at a dinner table after a race like that?
I'd have no problem with it.
Really?
I don't think Cloden would either, but for Cloden, I think Cloden, it really damaged Cloden, and it didn't do much to help Lance either, but it certainly damaged Cloden, and it certainly damaged the strength of the team. Today, in his tactic, not only did he hurt Cloden's position, Lance's position, the team's position, but he also hurt his own because when he attacked, he showed the two Schleck brothers that he's not really the super strong guy that he was at the beginning of the.
Well, it also looked like you said he was negotiating who was going to win, and he sort of backed off. And at some point in time, I was just thinking when I was watching it, he's the strongest. He wants to win. It seems like Johan and Lance are sort of friends from a long time ago. Maybe he's saying, forget the team. This is about me. I'm winning yellow no matter what. Is that?
I think he's definitely saying this is about me more than the team, because if you're playing a team role, he's stepped out of that. He's gone to a different level. Early in the tour, when he took the leader's jersey, that's questionable. There's nothing wrong with that. You went up the road. You're your most dominant rider. You added time to your GC, and you still kept your riders in a pretty decent position. He hurt Cloden just a little bit on the very first mountain stage, but nothing like he did today. He really damaged the overall strength of the team, and he didn't increase his real strength in the GC spot any either.
Final question. You're heading over to Chicago for a criterium. What does the future hold for you after that? And talk about that race a little bit, how that came to be. We'd love to see you racing in this one.
Yeah, I'd love to be doing this one too, but SRAM is a sponsor of the race. It's in Chicago, so they specifically asked me if I wasn't doing the tour to come to Chicago, and it just happened to be that the dates overlapped, so I couldn't make the Cascade Classic, which I was a little bit bummed about, but sometimes you got to take care of the sponsors because they're always looking after you, and it was a bigger priority for the team than the race here. But for me now, I do the race in Chicago, one-day race this weekend, then I do a 3-day race the following weekend, also in the suburbs, in the Tour of Elk Grove, which is a fantastic race. And then basically the next big objective should be the Tour of Spain. We got a little bit of drama happening and unfolding with the team, and it's changing rapidly. So maybe I'm unemployed before the Tour of Spain even starts.
Are contracts through the end of the year, so everybody theoretically goes through the Tour de France, depending on what happens?
Theoretically, everyone goes to the 31st of December, but there's a lot of drama in the team, like I said, and so we'll see if the paychecks continue or if the team changes so much and they just start kicking riders out or maybe doing their own thing. But at the moment, Lance, I think, is coming up with something good, and so maybe we'll have something set up for sure for next year. But hopefully I'll be doing the Vuelta, the Tour of Spain here next end of August.
Good. Well, keep us in touch, and we got to see you in France next year no matter what.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to put it in the contract.
Absolutely. I'll do what I can. That's Chris Horner, professional cyclist. At this point in time, he's riding with Astana.